Okay, so Jai Sri Krishna, and I'm continuing with the book I Am That, talks with Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Okay, and this is like what we do before we go on to the Yog Vashish, because this is basically a question and answer between Maharaj Nisargadatta and his disciple, and it's quite close to Vedanta. So just go on. So the questioner is the disciple, and he says, as I can see, there is nothing wrong with my body, nor with my real being. Both are not of my making and need not be improved upon. What has gone wrong is the inner body, call it mind, consciousness, antakaran, whatever the name. So he's saying the body, they say, I don't see that there is anything wrong, but I can see that there is something wrong with the inner mind. So continue. Now Maharaj says, what do you consider to be wrong with your mind? So the disciple says, it is restless, greedy of the pleasant and afraid of the unpleasant. What is this? Like Rag Dvesh, wants the pleasant and doesn't want the unpleasant. So the Maharaj is saying, but what is wrong with it seeking the pleasant and shirking the unpleasant? Between the banks of pain and pleasure, the river of life flows. So what is wrong if you want pleasure and you want pain and you don't want pleasure? Life is a river and it has both these banks along with it. Why are you so stressing so much about it? It is only when the mind refuses to flow with life and gets stuck at the bank that it becomes a problem. The problem is when we say we want only the pleasant, we do not want the unpleasant. That is where the problem lies. Otherwise, you want the pleasant, the unpleasant comes, what is wrong with it? It is only when the mind refuses to flow with life and gets stuck at the banks that it becomes a problem. By flowing with life, I mean acceptance. This is what we call surrender. And that is why I like to call it do your best and leave the rest, because when you think of surrender, a lot of people saying, kuch nahi karna, don't want to do anything, but let God do everything. No, he won't do everything. God helps those who help themselves. So I feel do your best and then leave. So he says, what I mean is acceptance. Letting come what comes and go what goes. Desire not, fear not. Observe the actual as and when it happens. For you are not what happens. You are to whom it happens. This is something to think. You are not what happens. You are not what happens. You are to whom it happens.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, Shashi. We were talking about that this morning. Ultimately, even the observer you are not. He says, actually, if you go to see, you're not even the observer, because you say, okay, so it happens to the body, it happens to the mind. But he says, actually, in the ultimate sense, you are not even the observer. You are the ultimate potentiality of which the all-embracing consciousness is the manifestation and expression. Now, this is a tough sentence, but I'll break it up. He says, so if you go to see, we are always told, at least let's get to the observer. Do you know that the prana is not the breath? The prana sits upon the breath. They say that the breath is the vehicle of the prana. So if the breath is the vehicle of the prana, it is not, but yet we are told, concentrate on the breath. Why? Because the breath sits on the prana, so we are close enough. So here also he's saying, we are told to observe the mind, but in the final rung, you are not even the observer. This is what he's saying. And then he says, ultimately, even the observer you are not. You are the ultimate potentiality. You have the potential of the all-embracing consciousness is the manifestation and expression. So I'm recording it so that you can ponder on this sentence, because otherwise you will say, kuch to bol rahi thi Shakun, lekin kya bol rahi thi pata nahi. So it's nice that you have this. And then I continue. So the questioner is saying, yet between the body and the self, there lies a cloud of thoughts and feelings which neither serve the body nor the self. These thoughts and feelings are flimsy, transient, and meaningless, mere mental dust that blinds and chokes. Yet they are there, obscuring and destroying. Isn't this the way we speak? Now I'll repeat. He has told him, the master is telling the disciple, you're not even the observer. You are the consciousness which is all embracing, okay, to put it simply. But the questioner is saying, the disciple is saying, yet between the body and the self, now between the body and the final enlightenment, between the fact that we are the body and beside the fact that now we are going to the consciousness or so-called enlightenment, yet between the body and the self, there lies a cloud of thoughts and feelings. Isn't that? What is the obstacle to our enlightenment? Our thoughts and feelings. They are the obstacle. But
Manomay Kosh and Vijnanamay Kosh.
Yes, exactly. So which neither serve the body nor the self. The disciple continues. So he realizes this. These thoughts and feelings are flimsy, transient and meaningless, mere mental dust that blinds and chokes. Yet they are there, obscuring and destroying. This would be the way we speak. No, के है, ठीक है, हमारी enlightenment है, हमारा consciousness है, हमारा body है, लेकिन उनके बीच में क्या है? There are thoughts and feelings. They may be transient, they may be flimsy, लेकिन they are destroying. They are becoming an obstacle, right? So now the master says, surely the memory of an event cannot pass for the event itself, nor can the anticipation. There is something exceptionally unique about the present event, which the previous or the coming do not have. There is a livingness about it, an actuality that stands out as if illumined. There is the stamp of reality on the actual, which the past and future do not have. Can you all tell me, can you all think what he said now? In all this whole paragraph, he actually said one thing. Can someone tell me what it was? Yes, Chalu?
That you are only that energy. You're not the body, you're not the breath, you're not the scenery, you're not the organs of observation.
Correct.
You are only that energy behind which works through all of this.
Yes, and yet also he's saying that, I think, I'll read it again, but I think he's also talking about the present. I think he's talking about this present moment, but let's read it again. He said, surely the memory of an event cannot pass for the event itself. You can't say that the memory of an event is the event itself, right? You remember something, but is it that? It is not. The memory of it is not it, okay? So the memory of an event cannot pass for the event itself, nor can the anticipation. So what are we doing? We are either anticipating something that will happen in the future, or we are living the past, which is not an event now. It is a memory, right? Now, there is something exceptionally unique about the present event, which the previous or the coming do not have. There is a livingness about it, an actuality. It stands out as if illumined. There is the stamp of reality on the actual, which the past and future do not have. So what is he saying? That you are complaining about your thoughts. You are complaining about your feelings, that they are an obstacle. But what are those thoughts and feelings? They are either a memory of the past or an anticipation of the future. Right? Now, what is wonderful about the present is that it is living. This is an event. What we are doing right now at this moment, crackers, is an event. Oh, look at that, crackers. So this is the truth. What he's saying, this moment is the truth. The minute it is gone, it becomes gone. The minute what you anticipate is not there. So what is true is this very moment. And that is why they say, live in the moment. Because if you are either anticipating something good or bad, so either you are happy or you are sad about the future. And you are sad and happy about the past. You are happy about the good things that happen, and you are sad about the fact that they are not there anymore, or your about the sad things that happen to you. But what is the truth? The truth is of this moment. That is where they say, the minute you become aware of this moment, Shalu, then we live in the consciousness. We live in the pure consciousness. So all this he has said up to now. I'm going to stop this here and then we will go to the Yog Vashish, because I think if that much also you will remember it off and on, it becomes a great learning for